A phobia is an excessive and irrational fear. If you have a phobia, you may experience a deep sense of dread or terror when you face the source of your fear. The effects of various phobias can be distressing or severely debilitating. People with a variety of phobias often realize that their fear is irrational, but they can't do anything about it. Such fears can interfere with work, school, and personal relationships. It is estimated that 9.1% of people in the United States have some type of phobia. Oftentimes, the severity of phobias varies greatly from person to person, but all types of phobias are treatable. In this video, we are going to introduce 10 types of phobias.
Number 1. Acrophobia.
Acrophobia is the fear of heights. People with acrophobia usually have symptoms of spinning, also known as vertigo, in response to situations where they feel they are off the ground. In response to altitude, they may freeze in place and be unable to move. In most cases, the feeling of anxiety disappears when the person returns to the surface. People with acrophobia often avoid situations related to heights. The severity of this phobia can be very different. In some people, the fear starts with standing on top of a tall building, while in others it can be triggered by climbing a ladder.
Number 2. Glossophobia.
Glossophobia is the fear of public speaking. People with this phobia have severe physical symptoms when they even think about being in front of a group of people. These symptoms include heartburn and stomach problems, sweaty palms, dry mouth, trembling legs, and throat stiffness. About 75% of people in the world suffer from this phobia or fear, and 10% of them are in the extreme range. Studies show that glossophobia is the most common phobia or fear in America. Even the fear of heights, snakes, and crocodiles is not as common as the fear of talking.
Number 3. Arachnophobia.
People with arachnophobia become extremely anxious at the sight of a spider, usually jumping, screaming, or freezing. Sometimes these reactions can be evoked with just a picture of a spider. Some experts believe that this phobia depends on individual culture. In parts of Africa, they are afraid of big spiders, but in South Africa, where they eat a kind of spider, the fear of spiders is less. A study conducted in the United Kingdom among 261 adults shows that nearly 32% of women and 18% of men in the group felt anxious, angry, or very afraid when facing a spider, either in real life or in pictures.
Number 4. Astraphobia.
People with astraphobia experience severe anxiety symptoms during storms, which often worsen when the person is alone. They are more likely to constantly check the weather and not leave the house in the event of a storm. During storms, they often find a safe place to hide, where the noise is reduced. Animals such as dogs and cats can also experience this fear. The fear of lightning is thought to arise from a traumatic experience involving a thunderstorm.
Number 5. Ophidiophobia.
Ophidiophobia is the fear of snakes. It can sometimes be confused with herpetophobia, which is the fear of reptiles in general, but people with ophidiophobia are specifically afraid of snakes. When they see a snake, they will often jump, scream or cry and be startled. Similar to arachnophobia, people with ophidiophobia avoid places where snakes may be found. Like arachnophobia, this phobia is thought to be an innate fear of being bitten by a poisonous snake. It can also result from a traumatic experience with a snake, such as a snake bite.
Number 6. Mysophobia.
Mysophobia is the fear of germs. A person with mysophobia may also be called a germophobia. They may also fear dirt or getting dirty, where germs may be present. People with mysophobia may obsessively wash their hands or use hand sanitizer. Avoid public spaces where there are high levels of germs, such as public toilets. They tend to be very clean and disinfect everything in their homes.
Number 7. Cynophobia.
People with cynophobia usually freeze at the sight of a dog and have severe anxiety symptoms. These people avoid situations where they might encounter a dog. They may find it difficult to interact with others who have dogs, including friends or family members. They may even refuse to befriend the dog's owner. This phobia usually stems from a negative experience with dogs many times in childhood. A person may have interacted with an aggressive dog at some point, or may have witnessed a dog bite or chase a family member.
Number 8. Claustrophobia.
Claustrophobia is the fear of small spaces. The space can vary from a confined area, such as a closet or elevator, to being stuck in a crowded room. When they feel trapped, they experience intense feelings of anxiety, similar to a panic attack, which are likely to subside when they remove themselves from the space or situation. People with claustrophobia avoid putting themselves in these situations as much as possible. This phobia may stem from a traumatic event in childhood, such as being trapped in a small space for a long time.
Number 9. Agoraphobia. People with agoraphobia tend to view places outside their home as unsafe. These people usually experience flashes of intense fear, similar to a panic attack. They may come from situations such as traveling on public transport, visiting a shopping mall, standing in crowded rooms where exits may be limited, or even being in open spaces, which may result in excessive exposure. Be seen. Avoid their symptoms sometimes disappear if they are accompanied by another person. Number 10. Trypanophobia.
Trypanophobia is also known as the fear of needles. People with trypanophobia will experience severe anxiety in response to procedures that require needles, such as vaccinations or blood draws. A reaction can often occur at the needle site before the procedure. They often feel very dizzy or even faint from the injection. People with trypanophobia may avoid medical care due to fear.